This are not thine elder matriarch station.
Hello everyone. Hope you're all doing well. How's it going? Were you guys able to hear that alert? Just making sure. And also, can you hear the background noises? The background sounds? Loud and clear. Okay, wonderful. Wunderbar. Awesome. Well, we're gonna hop back into working on the Golden Demon entry a little bit more. Let's see. Been getting continuing to get some feedback that should probably push highlights higher and higher. It's one of the hardest things to get used to. You think that you've gone high enough, you think you've gone far enough, and people are like, yeah, you could use some more highlighting. You know, your highlights could be higher. They could be brighter. Just like, oh, they're so bright already. It's like, you want me to go all the way to white? Like, is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to paint all the way up to like white for all the highlights? Is that how bright it's supposed to be? And then you look at some of the really nice work out there, and yeah, a lot of the highlights are like getting close to white. Usually they don't hit it, but they definitely get way up there. And the main thing I'm worried about, like, I don't have a problem going up that high necessarily. I'm more worried about just, I don't want the armor to look like shiny, so I have to be really careful about where the highlights are, how bright they are in comparison to everything else. That makes any sense. Try to sculpt out of green stuff because I hate the top of the Wolf Scout's Rune Priest head. Oh, I got you. A hood. I got you. Very cool. Got nice paint job. Hey, thank you, Stilts. You got 2,430 points of nids. That's a lot of nids. That's a lot of nids. Hey, Dream Big, how are you doing? Good to see you again. That is a lot of nids, Stilts. Slits. That's a lot of NIDs. Are you doing mostly like Nidzilla with like a whole lot of big NIDs, or are you doing more kind of like a swarm army with lots of little NIDs, or are you kind of in between? You've got some flexibility. I always like the idea of Nidzilla, but also I think Nidzilla didn't make a whole lot of sense when it came to the lore. Because, I mean, the NIDs are just all about overwhelming with lots of stuff. But Nidzilla is just so cool. There's just so many cool ways that you can do Nidzilla. It's like, yes, I may have lots of Tyranids, but here are my gigantic bioforms. We're going to stomp everything you love and believe in. Kaiju attack. Go. Thing is, Hive Tyrants are really, really cool. The Hive Tyrants are really, really cool. 100%. No argument from me. I am not disputing that by any means. You built a mix-up, yeah, a whole lot of big bugs and some gaunts, gargoyles, and cheese sealers. Nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Just pushing up the highlights on these central pieces as much as I can. But there's going to have to be some adjustments here and there. There's going to be some glazing work being done to kind of fix some of this. My leader is a winged swarm lord and tyrant guard attached. Nice, but he can't deep strike or fly until the guard unit is dead. Oh, I got you. Yeah, because they don't fly, right? I was about to be like, man, they should do a faction where it's just huge stompy guys. Then I remember the knights are a thing. Yes, that is true. The knights are a thing. They are big stompy guys, and the Tau could do big stompy guys too. You got some big stompy Tau as well. So we've got the knights, we've got chaos knights, we've got the Tau big stompies. I think we're covered on big stompies. We could definitely do a 40k version of Pacific Rim, no problem. Gundam's in the 42nd millennium. Hey, Captain Toad, how are you doing? Welcome on in, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful Tuesday night. I hope you're staying warm if you're here in the U.S. and of course elsewhere in the northern hemisphere. I hope you're staying warm. Here in the US, a lot of people just got completely slammed by some very, very heavy winter weather. One of my bosses is in Maine, and they got 2 feet of snow. Then some of my coworkers are up in Buffalo, New York. They also got 2 feet of snow. Some coworkers are in Tennessee, Nashville area, and they didn't get anywhere near that much snow, but they got slammed with snow and ice, and Nashville's not really set up for that. So hope y'all are staying warm. Hope y'all are staying safe wherever you are. We've been pretty chill here in the Pacific Northwest, or at least in the Portland area. And by chill, I mean we're doing just fine. It's been getting cold, but nowhere near as cold, and there just hasn't been enough moisture in the air to really do anything when it comes to snow and ice. It's been very, very dry. That often happens. We can get pretty darn cold here in the valley, but unless there's enough moisture in the air that made it over the mountains between us and the coast, we just don't get a lot of snow or ice. There's just not enough moisture in that air after it goes over the mountains. Take a lot of build up here to get some of this new highlight built up and bright enough to stand out properly. I've also been working my way through Star Trek Discovery. I'm on season 4 now. Believe there's only 1 season left after this. I think it's a 4-season show. It might a 5-season show. It might only be a 4. And right now, the story is interesting, but I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why this season exists. It is very divorced from the immediacy of the previous story arcs, and it's just kind of like, I don't know really what purpose this serves. I don't know if they were going to go into a bigger storyline or what, but the last storyline, the main storyline they've been running with for the last little bit, last couple seasons, that ended up, I like the way that resolved, and I would have been okay with the show ending at that point. Like it was a nice conclusion point. This is interesting, but I'm not grabbed by it. You got slammed in DC. Literally spent the entire weekend at work because I couldn't get him. Oh no, Count Zacula, that's awful. I'm sorry. For those of you on TikTok, I'm just checking in. Is the background sound too loud? I've got it balanced well in my ears, and it seems to be okay over on some of the other platforms, but I want to make sure, because TikTok doesn't give a great way for me to listen in live to the volume mix on TikTok. Every time I try to monitor something, it doesn't show me anything, doesn't tell me anything, and the volume controls on TikTok are not great. I can't tell what decibel they're coming through or any of that. Well, I work at a hotel, so it's not the worst place to be stuck. Still not ideal though. Yeah, that's a lot better than it could be. That's good. I have definitely. I remember a few years ago, it's over 10 years ago now, we had a series of horrific snow and ice storms here in the Portland area, and multiple people left work and were either they had to stop and sleep in the lobby of a hotel and then turn around and go back to work the next morning because they couldn't get home, or they were stuck at work, or it took them literally 8 hours to get home because of the amount of congestion and traffic that was going on. It took them 8 hours to get home. And so obviously they didn't come into work after that for a while. That's what I think of every time I see that. I hear stuff like that. It's just crazy. Fortunately, that doesn't happen here very often. Okay, so the highlight is getting brighter. Brightest point. Now there are here, here, and the back here. Those all need to be brought brighter. Hey, Hobby Time with Tim, how are you doing? Thank you so much. We'll get you your library card here in just a second. Get you your renewal. You may need a new card because the terms have updated slightly since I don't remember the last time, so we may need to get you a new card. So just a moment. Hope you're doing well. Are you warm? Are you safe? I'm just talking about how a lot of the U.S. got absolutely schmammered by or smacked down pretty hard by Mother Nature. Whole lot of cleaning the house for the last few days. Yeah, I'll bet. A lot of ice in the roads, but no real issues. Good, I'm glad. Glad to hear that, Tim. That's big. Glad you're safe. Yeah, nobody that I know has been too hammered too badly. But that could just be because I haven't heard from them yet. But I can't think of anybody who's been absolutely
welcome. Make yourself at home.
Hey, thank you so much for the follow, 19 Jaeger 79. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the follow. Go ahead and grab yourself a chair, join the discussion, or just sit back, relax. If you prefer, that's totally okay. Thanks for being here, whichever one of those you choose. What's everybody working on? Anything tonight? Anybody doing any hobby tonight? Or are we just chillaxing for a bit? If you've got anything you want to show off, go ahead and feel free to throw that in the chat or the Discord. Also, if you want us to look at anything, if you want to show off this Friday during the community kind of like showcase that I want to do that I'm trying to do more of on Fridays, feel free to throw those into Discord as well. That way we've got them all listed, and when we go through there, we'll know we won't miss what you've been working on. Of course, that is entirely voluntary. Just realized, I hope Eric Swinson does not raid us when I'm doing this, because he's a Golden Demon judge at Adepticon this year. I believe it is Adepticon. He may be doing it at multiple others as well, but he can't see this. That's why I kept the notification up that it's a Golden Demon entry. I don't want him or anybody else who might be judging or any of that to accidentally wander in. Just relaxing because I can't sleep. It's 2:21 a.m. Just trying to learn, come from scale models mostly, and I'm getting back into minis. Oh, very cool, 19 Jaeger. Are you over in the UK? Or it sounds like you're more UK, but you might be Europe, like farther east. I don't know what time it is right now. You're in the UK. Yeah. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Hobby time with Tim. We need to get you your library card update. Well, I hope you're able to get some sleep. Not until after you have a good time here, but yeah, it's hobby time. We need to get you an updated library card. If anybody has any questions about the stuff that I'm doing when we're painting, please don't hesitate to ask. A huge portion of why I stream is to share and encourage people who are coming back into the hobby or just starting. So, all right, hobby time with Tim. Here is your new card. We're gonna go over the terms here. You still got your old card. The stamp that you've got for your ongoing membership will transfer magically over with the updated, but here are the new terms of your library card. The bearer of this card is granted permission to remove materials from the Great Library for a period of no longer than 30 days. We extended the time that you get to have the materials. A penalty of 1 sip of paint water will be assigned to the bearer for each piece of material that is outside of the Great Library every day beyond 30 days. The bearer assumes all responsibility for any material damage to, magical damage, or mishaps associated with, and possessions or exorcisms through checked out materials. Okay, I realize I probably need to shake up my ink here. There we go. Let's make sure I've got this. Hobby with Tim. Let's get you your new library card filled out here. And did you capitalize? Yeah, you're capitalizing each word. Let's try to do some block lettering there so it's nice and easy to read. Hobby with Tim. There's your brand new library card. Let's cap the ink here so that it doesn't spill all over the place. It's very precious ink. It's magical ink. You can't replace that very easily. All right, that is nice and dry. All right, here is your new stamp. I'm going to transfer all those old stamps over here as well. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at, oh, it's gorgeous. Beautiful colors, continuing to grow in complexity. Very, very nice. Now, if you guys can't see anything, don't worry about it. It's a magical stamp. Only wizards can see these stamps. It's gorgeous, I promise. If you stick around long enough, you'll see it eventually. But for now, you know, it's gorgeous. Just smile and nod. Just be polite, you know. Sometimes we have to do that. But thank you. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that very much. One of these days, I'll catch you at a con and be able to give you a high five. Yeah, and I'll be able to give you your own old library card. You're going to have to make sure that you tell me if you're going to be at a convention or not. That way I can bring it. I was able to meet up with Impending Duff at a convention after I updated his library card. And I was able to hand that off to him, and I was able to do that for a couple of people. So, happy to hand off the old cards as a memory, is kind of as a thank you. That's what conventions are for, right? To connect with people that you only really know online or you haven't seen since the previous year. That's the goal. Stamps of Butte, my favorite color patterns. Wonderful. Excellent. So 19 Jaeger, if you're still around, if you're still able to chat or willing to chat, what types of minis are you going to be working on now that you're getting back into it? Are we looking at Warhammer, D&D, something completely different, or just for fun? I enjoy painting just for fun too, personally, quite a bit. Although painting for a game is also fun, but painting just for fun or just to do something beautiful or interesting, that's always very satisfying as well. Okay. Let's get this over here, and we're going to hit this edge of this cowling up here. Make sure that's nice and bright. Okay, lurking, gotta fix the machine. Hey, no worries. Thanks for hanging out. Warhammer piques my interest. I bought a few off of it. Flea Bait strip and learned with. Got a couple Legion Imperialis on the cheap and played around with them a bit. Bit small for my liking. Got my eye on Titan size stuff. I gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, those full size Titans are awfully big. I think the only way that I would really want to paint anything that like a Titan is if it was the Legion Imperialis scale Titans, because they're about the same size as like a normal 40k mini or a Dreadnought. But I would still be able to do all the cool weathering and stuff like that, just on a much smaller scale. Same thing when it comes to Aeronautica Imperialis, like the aircraft. I don't want to buy a giant piece of resin and just work on that. rather than buy smaller plastic kits and just have fun with those and still be able to do the effects and everything to a certain extent. But I'm also someone who doesn't paint a lot of vehicles. I find my joy and my relaxation happens a great deal more with smaller scale individual figures. But Titan size stuff, it's always really impressive to see that, and it takes a lot of dedication to paint something that size. It's always very impressive. Excuse me. Got the hiccup somehow. I don't think I'd ever be a gamer with them, though. Old brain ain't up to it anymore. No, I totally understand that. I get that. Whew. Yeah, Death Guard are very cool. I think the Death Guard are very, very cool. Just keep on picking out highlights, or just trying to push the highlights farther and farther, brighter and brighter, so that we have plenty of contrast to get lots of visual interest. And you don't want the model to look flat or boring in the display cabinet. It's very easy for a miniature to lose a lot of its, dynamic range, or I guess dynamic range is the word I'm looking for. To lose a lot of the visual contrast between the shadow and the highlight when you gets into like those display case lights. They tend to flatten things a lot. And so do regular room lights. So it's one of the reasons why when you're painting, you do want to push for a lot of contrast, is because under your painting lights it's going to look like it's got enough contrast, but under like regular fluorescent bulbs or daylight, oftentimes it'll look really flat because there just wasn't enough when you were building it. That has been a big frustration of just like, wait, when I was painting this, everything popped. Like, it all stood out. It was wonderful amounts of contrast, and then when I get it out here, it all just looks like it's been base coated and nothing more. That's not fun. It can be very discouraging. So push it when you're under your lights. Push it farther. You'll be going to be less prone to disappointment when it gets out into the real world. Now I think there's a piece of fur or something stuck to my miniature here. A hair. And it's, at this point, it's under multiple layers of paint. But I don't know if it's a bad cleaning job or an actual, like, Why didn't I notice this before? I'm gonna have to repaint all of this, but I have to, if there is a physical artifact there, I have to get rid of it. It can't be there. It simply can't. Not for Golden Demon. Get my magnifying glasses here. Okay, I think it's gone. But of course I had to scrape a bunch of paint off. So that's not fun. So we're going to slowly and carefully try to build this back up. Tap, tap, tap to fill that back in. And then we'll bring the everything back up. But I'm gonna have to take my time there. That's one problem. If you see a problem and you're not sure if it can. Thing is, if you see a problem, you should take care of it as soon as possible, and not waiting for it to get to a point where, like, well, now I have to take care of it, and I should have taken care of it before. Like, I really should have noticed that texture there, that hair, and I should have taken care of that before, but I didn't do either one of those things, and so now I have to repaint an area that shouldn't have needed this much repainting. But that's okay. That's how it works. Your beta's trying to brew itself into your work. Yeah. Right? It's exactly what it's doing. Jedi Fungi, sorry I missed your question. Yes, this is all Pro Krill. I apologize that I missed your question earlier, but yes, this is all Pro Krill. At this moment. I use other paints as well. The Pro Krill's not the only thing I use, but it is the most common thing that I use. I have Viho Game Color, I have Army Painter Fanatic, I have Viho Model Color, I have some GW washes. They're all solid. They're all solid paints. want to go over all of this OSL with normal paints here real quick and start the OSL over again, because I feel like I've lost where the I'm losing the depth that I want. Let that continue to develop, and then we'll come in here with this, back over here a bit. Okay. I'm trying to use some of these colors to knock back the thickness of some of my edge highlights, because they've gotten awfully a little out of control. I think they need to be a lot more delicate, and I'm not doing a good job of keeping those neat and tidy. I don't know how easy it's going to be to fix some of that, but that's okay. Again, it is part of learning. It's part of practice. get a mid-tone or a middle color between the highlight I've been doing and the mid-tone we've been using here, just to start building up this highlight in the middle a little bit more. Working that up here on the front as well. Tell you what, last week's Starfleet Academy episode was decent. I thought there was certainly interesting parts to it. I'm interested to see how that continues to evolve. Though I don't think it was the strongest. It certainly had some good character development, which I liked, and that's something I'm starting to get annoyed about when it comes to Discovery. It's starting to be, or at least the last episode, the last arc has been really good, but it's basically been the Michael Burnham show for a lot of it. It seems like it left a lot of the other characters not developed as much as they could be. There was a lot of character development, but not to the same level as I've expected from Voyager and DS9 and stuff like that. It just all centers around Burnham, which was okay, but I want more. Wanted more development across more of the characters. But overall, pretty decent. I was looking up how many Star Trek shows have come out since Voyager's. Voyager's the last one that I watched multiple seasons of while it was coming out.
Welcome. Make yourself
well, that in Enterprise. Hey, Hemifrog, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Grab yourself a seat, join the discussion, or just sit back, relax, grab a book off the shelf, curl up next to the fire, and enjoy yourself. Whatever works best for you, whatever you choose, I'm glad you're here. I did watch Enterprise. I watched a lot of Enterprise. I do need to. So I guess not just Voyager. Watched a lot of Enterprise. Liked it for the most part. But there's Discovery, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Prodigy, which is the kids show, so I don't know if I'm going to watch that. But it's got Janeway in it, so I kind of want to. Section 31. There's a lot. There's at least 5, I think. At least 5 shows that I haven't watched much of. Rad Paint Job. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're just trying to punch him up and get him to be better than he was last year, and hopefully do as well as we did last year, if not a little bit better. But we shall see. I don't actually know if it's possible to get him to the next level, just because of the general model and the composition of the base and stuff. It may take some complete redo, complete alteration to really get this thing even close to a finalist. But who knows? We're gonna try. Do the best we can. As each time we submit and we learn, it is a good experience. And that's the goal. Trying to learn, trying to become better. Don't have much time. When I see a Votan model, I have to show my love for my favorite army. Amazing model. Hey, thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. I really appreciate you taking the time to drop by, even if you can't stay for long. If you're going to be at Adepticon, you'll be able to see this in the case. If you're not going to be at Adepticon, well, you can see it here, or you'll be able to see it on my Instagram. Black Magic Tabletop, how you doing? Just looking at it from the last time I was here, it looks so much better. Thank you. Yeah, it's the refining. It's just the continual pushing of highlight and shadow and refinement. It's amazing how much that really does impact things. So I very much appreciate that, because oftentimes you look at the thing and it's just like, I think it's better. Is it better? I think it's looking better, and you just kind of get lost. So I appreciate the confirmation that it is indeed getting better, because they just, you just kind of get lost in the process. Let's see. Hammerfrog, recently started painting my first MIDI since 2024. Oh, welcome back. Got an Infernus Marine intro kit. Pretty fun, but holy cheese wheels, your work is insane. Thank you, Hammerfrog. I very much appreciate that. It's just a ridiculous amount of time refining tiny, stupid, little nitpicky details. Because that's kind of what you have to do if you're gonna try and win competitions. And that's kind of the goal. I do not do this here. Let me show you what... For gaming... This is closer... Where'd you go? Lieutenant, where'd you go? Here we go. This is closer to what I do for gaming right now. Even this is a little farther beyond what I was doing. Just looking at it from last time, you get tired of looking at it. Yeah. I do. That's just normal. Gonna be starting to paint my Votan soon, and seeing other people paint their models inspires me. Wonderful, Sonny. That's awesome. This is generally what I do for like my normal Space Marine paint jobs, and you can tell that, yeah, this looks nice, but like you can the difference between the two, other than just the color, the amount of contrast, the how sharp the details are, very different. Very different, yeah. But I'm still really happy. I've been working on these. I'm working on a Mark III Lieutenant right now. So slowly building up his highlights, and then we'll start, working on the rest. So here's a Mark II. So you see where we're going here, and yeah, we're gonna do one of every Lieutenant in every armor type that Space Marines used. So that means no Thunder Warriors, because they weren't Space Marines. Did you say this is less than? Yeah, it's all right. Even for your game models, it shows you put a lot of love into them. Amazing Space Marine. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. I really do. Hood accomplished. Excellent, Count Zacula. Excellent. Sculpting a green stuff cape or a green stuff hood is not easy. Is not easy work. That's not light work. So it is stuff that I have yet to really try, just because I'm like, oh, I don't wanna. It's hard. So well done. Right. This we're trying to use lots of glazing for a lot of this, because I mean, layers and glazing are really how I do most of my painting. So, I'll work and layer up and use some opaque paints to layer it, and then I'll try to use glazing to smooth things out. But also here at the very, very top, it's really hard to layer everything that's so small. So I'm using kind of a glaze, but within a slightly thicker paint. Painting Cujo calls them fat glazes. It's kind of how I think about it. It's a glaze that's almost normal glaze consistency, but it's more opaque. It's got a little bit more body to it, you know. A little bit more oomph. A little bit more impact. Let's see. Are you able to show your favorite model you've painted recently or ever? This question comes up quite a bit. Oh! I missed it. After 22 years away from the hobby, this is like staring into the face of God. We're gonna have to wait for the ads to end over on one of the other platforms. But Sonny, here is, I think, probably my favorite model right now. This is from Age of Sigmar. This is an ogre hero from the game Cursed City. And there's some things that I'd love to improve about him, but I think overall I was very, very happy with him. Let's see. Do I have any other favorites? I mean, I've got plenty of favorites, but... yeah, I think that's my kind of my go-to favorite. That ogre. Oops. Set him over here just in case anybody else wants to see him, but right now this is the one I probably put the most work into. Looks amazing. My goal is to be good as you painting. Still haven't painted an army. I haven't even painted an army. I don't think I've ever painted an entire army ever, and I've been painting for 26 years. It's not because it's not possible within 26 years. It obviously is. It's possible to paint an army within just a few days. But I lose interest. And that's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's okay. Just start and set yourself a plan. Make it nice, small, bite-sized chunks, and do each one of those. You know, there's nothing you could absolutely paint an army in just a month or two if you do it in just bite-sized chunks. And not trying to kill yourself. If you try to kill yourself, or you're willing to work that hard, then yeah, you could paint it in like a week. But I wouldn't want to do that. I just have a hard time keeping interest in painting that long.
Nor is he early. He arrives
Precisely what he means to. Smiling Beagle Studio, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in. How's it going? It's Kronos. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Smiling Beagle Studio. How was your stream? What'd you work on? What'd you do? What were you working on? Dig Batty, how are you doing? I have made a plan, but thank you for trying to help. My goal is 50 models by May. Wonderful. Yes, excellent. Good, Sonny. Just just try to stick with it to the best you can. It can certainly be rough, but you got this. You got this. Just stick to your plan. And if you need to alter your plan, like change the schedule a little bit, don't beat yourself up over it. Just alter it the way you need to, and then figure out, okay, how am I still going to get all this done in that amount of time? You got this. I just get bored. Like, I get bored painting the same thing, which is why I'm not that great of a competition painter, because, oh my god, spending 200 hours on a single model is insane. I don't know if I can. I know I can spend 50 hours. I know I can spend 60 hours. I've done that. And I'm probably going to spend about at least that amount of time on this guy. So we'll be fine. But oh my god. Doing good, working on a White Werewolf Tavern diorama for Nova. Oh, nice! Man, that's my jam. Excellent. Doing well, back to painting ducks again. That's alright. Well, for those of you who are new here, my name is Useless Wizard. Welcome to the Great Library of Magic, where I am, I've been kicked out of the Wizard School of Magic because I'm a useless wizard, so they sent me down here to the library to watch over the students and keep guests like yourselves company. We hang out here next to my fireplace in my study and paint minis and talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff. I've been meandering a little bit about keeping up motivation while painting and things like that, but then also talking about, I'm going through Star Trek Discovery right now. I'm on season 3 or 4. I think season 4. And then also Starfleet Academy. I'm also talking about some of the other Star Trek shows that I need to catch up on. I've watched almost all of The Next Generation, all of the original series, all of Deep Space Nine, all of Voyager, almost all of Enterprise. So I am not new to the franchise. Also all the movies. I'm not new to the franchise by any means. But I am frankly enjoying my time. Discovery was rough in the first season was pretty rough, but it ended up pretty good. And after that, I thought it was great. There's some things that I'd like to see different. I'd like to more focus on other characters than just Burnham, but there just wasn't enough focus on the other characters. You definitely had focus on the other characters. Just I would have liked to seen more. So we're gonna add in some more bounce light down here. Get some of that, some more of that red reflection.
Nor is he early. He arrives
precisely what he means to. Lady Kachara, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome on in.
Welcome.
How was your stream? I hope you had a good stream. What were you working on? What were you doing? Welcome, 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 everybody. My name's Moderator Chad. Huh? Oh, okay. No worries. I'm just like sitting here, like, what's happening? I hope your stream went well. What'd you guys work on? For those of you who are new here, my name is Useless Wizard. We are here in the Great Library of Magic, where I keep an eye on the students in the Great Magical Library, or the Great Magic School of Magic. And I was kicked out from the teaching staff because I'm a useless wizard, and they didn't want a useless wizard teaching people magic, so go figure. So now I'm down here in the library. I'm watching over the students and guests like yourselves, keeping you company, talking about all kinds of nerdy things and painting minis. We're working on this Wrath of the Ancestors Leagues of Votan model that I'll be resubmitting for Golden Demon at Adepticon. So if you're going to be at Adepticon, you will see this in the case. At least that's the plan, assuming I'm able to get to Adepticon. I've paid for everything. Got my flight, got the hotel, got all the stuff secured. So, God willing, we're able to make it. You never know, stuff happens. The stream was great. Was working on a 3D wooden puzzle of a Sakura treehouse. Oh, that sounds cool. Looks fantastic. Someday I may make it to Adepticon. Adepticon's a blast. I really like Adepticon. It's the convention that I try to make sure I go to every year. Just kind of I'm over on the West Coast, and it's just kind of, it's not a home convention in terms of like it's, you know, my local one. It's just the one that I feel the most at home at. I really like it. I like Adepticon a lot. You're a great host for a wizard, so useless. Why, thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. Kind words. Let's see. Dig Batty, let's see. Makes me feel a little bit better about my Space Marine. I've been painting about 6 to 8 hours into him. Yeah, it's Kronos. That's totally okay. That's totally okay. Yeah, this guy I've probably got... Well, actually, let's go back to this dude here. He's probably got 40 to 50 hours put into him because I was trying really hard to for all of these minis to paint them to the best of my ability, and that means with the way my brain works, that means I go slow. I'm thinking about everything. I'm making mistakes because I can't visualize properly when it comes to stuff like this. So I make a mistake. I have to pull it back. I have to figure out, okay, why didn't that work? What do I have to do differently? Let's try something else. And then you know, I stumble my way through it. So, you know, some people are able to paint to this level very, very quickly, and I would certainly be able to paint to this level quicker than that. But you know, this is 40 to 50 hours easy. So don't feel bad about that. Spent 180 hours on Ogre Tyrant once, back when the Ogre Kingdoms first came out. Got me third at Old Road Demon competition, third or fourth at Adepticon many moons ago. Never spent that much time on a single model again. That's crazy, Dig Batty. That's a long time. That's a long time. The model is only done when you're happy with them. Worst comment, and worst comes to worst, it can always go back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And honestly, there are times where you just have to call it, and just like, you know what? Even though this is for Golden Demon, I can't reasonably spend, you know, another 50 hours on this. I need to work on something else. Or I just need to leave this be, because if I keep worrying at this, if I keep gnawing at this bone, I'm gonna break something, and it's not gonna look right anymore. So, you know, you do get to that point as well, and that's okay. And you know, and then later on, you're like, okay, what can I do to get past that point? And you know, then you keep working at it. Let's see. Wait. I usually go to Nova Open because it's practical in my backyard and easy to get to. That makes sense. I hear good things about the community at Nova. Disappointed to hear about some of the stuff from Nova's leadership with the painting competition this year. I don't know if I'll go to Nova anymore. I was kind of hoping to this year, but Everybody gets to make their own decision on how they want to do that. I was looking at loving doing wooden puzzles like that. Yeah. Is it a 3-dimensional puzzle? Is that what you said it was, lady? That sounds cool. 3D wooden puzzle. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Sorry about your bone. I have a pinched nerve in my shoulder. Even painting is painful. Let's see my doc next Thursday and make sure it's only that. Oh, wow. Big baddie. I hope that's able to get resolved, because that's not fun. Sonny, what made you want to do a Votan model for Golden Demon? Well, the model I did for Golden Demon before this was also a Votan model, and I've always really liked the idea of the Votan having AI as fully fledged members of their society. I like that idea, and when this model came out called Wrath of the Ancestors, I thought, hey, it'd be really cool to make him an Ironkin, and just to show the idea that kin are kin. The Ironkin are just as within Votan. The Ironkin are just as much kin to the biological Votan as they are to biological Votan are to one another. Even though they're all clones, they're still kin to one another. And the Ironkin are just as much kin. And I like that idea of it doesn't matter if you're biological or if you're AI within the Votan, you are still Votan. And I thought this model would be really cool to kind of exemplify that idea of the Wrath of the Ancestors. Now, when we think of ancestors, oftentimes we're thinking of biological ancestors, right? Well, this is an Ironkin. There's no biological element to this. So it's more it's more spiritual ancestors. It's more ancestors of the Votan as a whole, and I like that idea of being an Ironkin. He still embodies that ancestral wrath. I got caught up in the story. I got caught up in the story that I was telling myself in my head. That's what happened. And I think it's really it was really compelling to me. Finished a large wooden diorama of a TIE fighter and an X-Wing fighter, and I'm entering into a local scale model show this month. Oh, that's cool. Started raid and run, but need to head out now. Pain meds are calling me. No worries, lady. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for the raid. That's what I have. That's what I love about the lore as well. I love the equality. Yeah, I mean, they're still not good people. The Votans still aren't good people. Like if you've got resources that they want, they'll strip mine your planet underneath your feet, regardless of whether you like it or not. They don't care. They're gonna take it. They're gonna take your stuff. Doesn't matter if you think it's home. It's their it is their resources because they want it. They're still not good people by any means. But there's less, I guess, internal bigotry when it comes to technology and stuff like that. But there's still not good people. Don't get it twisted. No one's good. No one is good in 40K. Everyone is frantically trying to survive, and they will sacrifice those around them to do it. Yeah, Noah's a good person in 40K. That is true. That is the truth. Isn't that the political irony of all 40K? Yes, absolutely. No one are the good guys. Everyone is ready to stab each other in the back. And that's part of the, not just the political irony, it's also part of the dystopia of it, and the kind of the satire commentary of it is like, if everyone started working together, most of these things wouldn't be a problem. But because xenophobia is so incredibly ingrained into every faction, regardless of whether they're human or not, it just kind of prevents any kind of forward progress and just keeps the entire galaxy circling the drain. There's so much distrust that it's just not. People are every faction's cutting their nose off despite their faces, and that's kind of like the part of the commentary of just like, you know what, if you guys all just started to get along and were really willing to do that, y'all would kick Chaos's butt, and you'd be in a better spot. But because none of you are willing to trust anybody else, that's just not going to happen, and everybody's just going to be it's like all the crabs in the bucket, right? If there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket and that bucket is just full, and one crab starts climbing out, the other crabs will grab that crab and drag him back down because they're trying to get out, and they grab onto him as a way to climb out themselves, and instead of climbing out, they drag the crab back in, and they're all stuck again, and that just keeps happening. That just keeps on happening. That's the everybody's a crab trying to climb out, and everybody else are crabs are trying to see that crab is getting out, so they try to grab onto it and pull it back in, whether they're trying to prevent it from escaping or also trying to escape. Eldar Child incident? Yeah. Do you have a favorite Chaos faction? I love my World Eaters and recently got Emperor's Children. I'm a Word Bearers fan. Got Emperor's Children as a treat to build once I painted my army. That's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm a Word Bearers fan. I've been a Word Bearers fan since the beginning of the Horus Heresy books. First Heretic was really, really interesting to me, and I really liked it. I've continued to increase my hatred for the Emperor throughout the entire Horus Heresy. Dude's a moron, and an egotistical moron who's so out of touch with his humanity that he just assumes everybody else is going to do what he wants, but he's lost perspective on human frailty and human motivations for things. And he cites himself as this benevolent dictator, but there's nothing benevolent about him. He's not interested in humanity individually. He's interested in humanity as a whole. And it doesn't matter how much of humanity dies on the way to his vision, which just makes him awful. He's a terrible, terrible person. Now, I'm not saying the Word Bearers any better. They are objectively evil. Like, absolutely objectively evil. But at least they're honest about it. And they're not trying to, like, we're trying to, save humanity or anything. It's like, no, the reality is the gods don't care about humanity, and we're going to worship them as a way to gain power and, hopefully avoid being consumed by them. I mean, they're honest about it, at least. But again, I mean, they're horrific people. Like, they're horrific. But yeah, I've been a fan of the Word Bearers for a while. Salamanders are my favorite Space Marine faction. The lore with the Elder Child incident is such good lore. It is good lore, but ooh, man, it just shows you that even the Salamanders aren't good people. They try. They actually care about individual humans, but they're still inhuman monsters, and so is Vulcan. They're all just monsters. They're just monsters who have a little bit more compassion for their charges, but that's it. My favorite Space Marines are the Ultramarines, and the reason for that is because I believe the Ultramarines fulfilled and continue to fulfill the purpose of Space Marines post Great Crusade better than any other chapter does. They actually rule and govern over human planets. They actually built a golden age within the 500 worlds of Macragge and Imperium Secundus. Their people actually have a somewhat decent standard of living, and they actually seem to care and be competent when it comes to actual logistics and doing all the bureaucracy that it takes to actually run a society. So I think they do the best job of that. Now they're still the poster boys, so I get that, but I just think they do the best job of being Space Marines. There are other Space Marine chapters that are arguably and most likely better at combat, better at war, but I don't think there are many Space Marines that, other than some successor chapters, that are better at the administrative ruling of humanity or ruling alongside of humanity, which is partially what the Space Marines were supposed to do after the Great Crusade. Assuming the Emperor just didn't have them all annihilated like he did with Thunder Warriors. Which is entirely possible. He could have had Leman Russ destroy them all,
Welcome
and then
to the Great Library.
end Leman Russ himself. That could have been done. Eduardo, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Grab yourself a chair, join the discussion, or just sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. Whatever you choose, I am glad you're here. I know I'm just kind of waxing on here about my perspective on the lore and everything. So if anybody has anything they want to share, anything else they want to talk about, or tell me that I'm wrong, go for it. Speaking of blueberries, you seen the mold lines on the new Titus? It's pretty rough. I have not. I have to. My Titus set was delayed by FedEx, so I think the soonest I can pick them up is tomorrow, and I probably won't pick them up until this weekend, maybe Friday. So I have not seen it. If these got pretty egregious mold lines, that's really sad to hear, because it's a new kit, and you'd think that they do a better job of building the kit and designing it. But maybe not. The first thing to tell me on World Eaters is the blood for the blood god, skull for the skull. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It's very catchy. Blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. Super catchy. Super catchy. Nice, pithy, very descriptive when it comes to a marketing campaign. Yeah, 100%. Want to do either a Salamander's army, a Minotaur's army, both lots. Yeah, Minotaur armies would be a lot of fun. Thousand Sons player, born and raised. Thousand Sons were the very first army that I did back in 5th edition. Now I played 40k in 5th and 6th and a little bit of 7th, and I stopped playing 40k. I obviously still paint the models and everything. I just don't play the game much. So I have yet to play Thousand Suns under the actual Thousand Suns Codex. When I played, they were a Thousand Suns Rubric Marines were a single entry in the Space Marine Codex. And they had a aspiring sorcerer as their sergeant. Orc makes chili he believes is too hot for an orc that believes it's mild. What happens? I would say it's probably, yeah, who believes harder or who has more Wa energy behind them. And I think that is both their ability to get other orcs to agree with them, and also probably centers around how old and how big they are. So I'd say the bigger, older orc is most likely, if it's one-on-one, the bigger, older orc is probably going to win out. If one of the orc has a larger number of orcs who agree with him and believe the same thing, that can overcome that. But I think the bigger, older is probably going to develop a lot more Y energy. But that's just my perspective. That's what I think. Let's see. I've been seeing a bunch, and at this point I've seen enough of them from enough separate people to be sure that it wasn't just Bad Batch. That sucks, Count Zacula. I'm really hoping for some new orcs soon. That would be really cool, McGruff. More orcs. I'm always a fan of more orcs. What if another orc doesn't believe it's even chilly? Man. Imperium psyop to convince orcs that Tyranids are full. Galaxy saved. Ooh, that's a good idea. Whoa! Whoa! Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Look at this. That looks pretty prominent. Oh, look at that! Oh my god! This mold wasn't fitted properly. This was not calibrated properly. Look at how much. Yeah, there are parts of this that aren't going to be too bad. Like this is going to be covered by a shin, so that's not too bad. But it's scraping a lot of this down is going to be painful. Yeah, that's not going to be fun. Is it just on Titus? Is it also on the other pieces? Oh, that's gonna suck. Getting that to be rounded off. That's not gonna be fun. I don't like it. Ugh, I might have to take a file to that. Yeah, that's real bad. Any tips for painting orange? I was asking Yokero, and I was using Yokero, and it just came out super dull and kind of beige. Sure. Here is a Cyber Savage mini that I was working on, and wanted her armor to be orange, because Cyber Savage. Just as an aside, Cyber Savage is it's a small scale game that is kind of like what would happen if you were playing in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, where that cyber sorcery or laser sorcery type of setting. So that she is a matriarch of Orion, I believe is the name, but got a pretty vivid orange here, and my recommendation is to start with a darker orange or like a reddish brown and build up, and that's going to get you a lot more depth and a lot more richness to your colors. Where is so this guy, this scout that I'm almost done painting, painted him as a bit of a redhead, and you can see that he's still reading as orange-haired, but he's got multiple different colors there. So start with like a darker, warm reddish brown, and then work up into like a burnt orange and then keep going up. If you want like fire, like really bright red without or bright orange, you may need to do the Yokero orange over white or over yellow. But if you want something a little bit richer with more shadow and things like that, and a richer look, then you're gonna have to work up from a darker brown. This is maybe another line's orange is better. That's entirely possible. Orange and yellow are both notoriously difficult colors to work with, because orange has so much yellow in it that the weak nature of yellow pigment affects the orange as well. Yellow pigment does not have a lot of opacity to it, so it's just not. It's not going to do a great job of covering everything up. So you usually have to work up layers. Let's see. Where did I put those? So what I've been doing for oranges, and what I did for that Cyber Savage model, is I started out with not dark flesh. I started out with mahogany. Actually, dark flesh would work too. It's a reddish orange, or it's a reddish brown. So something like dark flesh, this type of color as a base color can work, and then you work up from there. And then like a burnt orange, which is kind of halfway between orange and brown. And then you've got like full on orange here. Yeah, let's see if I can do this on this example block. If I start with my brown, so I'm also going over black, right? So that can be difficult already, because it's if you try to paint lighter colors over black, they're not going to cover very well, because it's such a big jump between black and that lighter color. So I'm starting with a darker orange here, and I'm going to use my airbrush to just blast air at it. You can use a hair dryer for this as well. So just to quickly dry it, just blasting some air, and then we can get our burnt orange. And you can see already that burnt orange is not as strong. It is not as opaque as that brown is, and that's part of the weakness of the pigment. So we may have to do a couple layers here. I'm going to blast this with some air, get some more, do another layer here. Blast this with some more air just to get it to dry quickly. And here we can see there's a difference already. That's good. And then, ooh, wow, that's still lots of water in that brush. And then we can come in here with our orange. This will also fade very quickly. Blast it with air. Otherwise, if you don't have something like an airbrush or a hair dryer, you just wait. Just wait and let it dry. I'm just speeding things up because I want to be efficient. You might have to do 2 layers. Make sure each layer dries before you do the next layer. Okay? Make sure every layer dries before you do the next layer. Otherwise, your new layer may physically tear the layer below it. And see, we could just keep going up. Good. Yeah, so you see, it really helps this, because what's really happening is all acrylic paints are translucent, so the color below shows through the color above it. So black, if I were to paint this orange just over black, you can still see a lot of that black through the orange, right? And that's what's gonna make it look pale and greenish and look bad. So over here, you've still got some dark showing through, but it's nowhere near as much here. It's because I'm going from black to a darker brown, which means that this jump is very small. It's a very small jump in value, in brightness. And then I'm doing this jump to this jump, and then this jump to this jump. Each of these is a smaller jump from the color before it, then going, black all the way to this orange. Yeah, the pink thing can also work, yes. Yeah, no worries. No worries. But I hope that helps. And you can see that, see how much greener this is here? Even if I did another layer of this, it's not going to be anywhere near as orange and vibrant as this. This is much greener than this is. This has a lot more richness to it. So layering up colors is really, really useful when it comes to working with acrylics because they're translucent. Very important. Demonstration was great. Wonderful. Excellent. That's what I want. Want that to be useful. That's why I do this. Oh, excuse me. Well, Useless Wizard has been great, but I suppose to go to sleep 30 minutes ago. It's 3:30 a.m. Ah, Sonny, go to bed. Thank you for hanging out. I'm building a Thanatar Calyx and doing a Ryza color scheme. Oh, that sounds cool. Or, yeah, Ryza color scheme. That sounds cool. Very, very cool. Okay. Looking forward to seeing the end product. Have a good night, day, everyone. You too, Sonny. Thank you for hanging out. Yeah, it counts accurately. It's not a $70 kit, man. It's a $94 kit. MSRP on the Titus thing is a $94 kit. That's $100 for that bad of a mold line. That's pretty shitty. There's mold lines and then there's mold lines. If I'm building a kit from the 80s, I expect bad mold lines, but with the tech out there with GW's wallet, do you think they would do better at job at QA? Yeah, you'd think so. You would think so. Ah, that's sad. Yeah, $94. Yep. $94 schmackaroonies. I'll try to add up how many hours that would take you. It would take you to at work to earn that $94. It's like, is painting that worth me working that many hours? Would I work that many hours to have the opportunity to own and paint this? If the answer is yes, then it might not be the worst use of your money. Doesn't mean it's a good use of your money, but it could mean it's like, it's a justifiable thing if I think I'm going to get plenty of time and work out of it. If not, then yeah, don't do it. I've judged a lot of my decisions. It was like, would I work this number of hours just to buy this? If I knew that this is what my pay would be, like I wouldn't get actual dollars, I'd get this kit at the end of it. Would I work those hours to get this kit? No? Okay. I obviously don't want it that bad. I will say I keep going back to the preview page and looking at this Red Corsairs and can hear them calling to me. They're like, buy us, Zach, buy us. Yeah. No, I totally understand. And that new Iron Warrior, oh, he's so pretty. And the Iron Warrior upgrade kit, it's all so pretty, but I don't need it. But I want it, but I don't need it. But I want it. He is. He's very, very cool. Okay, I need to stop working on that. I've torn the paint and I need to just leave it be. Let's see. My original plan for Murder Wing was to grab an Emperor's Children kit and do that kit bash, but I've totally abandoned that idea. I can't decide if I want to do Corsairs or Iron Warriors kit bash. Por qué no? Por qué no dos? No los dos. Why not both? Not made of money, man. That's fair. That is fair. I'm not sure which one I'd want to do. I mean, I tend to prefer working on Space Marines than Eldar. I'm really just not a big fan of working on Eldar in general. So even though the Corsairs are awesome, I'd probably go with the Iron Warriors. But I can't say that for certain. But that's probably where I would lean. Leaning towards Corsairs because doing the Chaos Lord as Huron would be sick. It would be sick. It would indeed. Oh, man. I need to stop finding things to work on. Oh my god. Did brighten up the highlights quite a bit. They're quite a bit higher, especially up here. We've got good highlights down here. We've got some. I've done some bounce reflections of the orange down in the lower part of the knees, like here. See, we've got some bounce light happening down there, just to kind of show that there's light there. Yeah, I agree. I just don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the antlers. I might make them biological. I might try to do them as gold non-metallic metal again, but they're such complex shapes that gold non-metallic metal would be a... Oh, man, that's going to be a bear. It's going to be really painful. Come on, get back in focus. Here we go. That's better. I do need to switch and start working on the steel non-metallic metal on the hammer and then some of the pistons and a couple other areas, just to get those better. Natural antlers, yeah, most likely. That's probably what I'll end up doing. It's probably what I'll end up doing. And I want to punch up the non-metallic metal as well. One, it's not going to be a nightmare, and I think the contrast between metal and bone will be cool. Yeah, I think those are both good reasons. I can do things that will make it not as much of a nightmare, but still look cool. I'm down with that. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to go a little bit bigger than what I really want when it comes to this, because I'm going to glaze it down with a mid-tone. So I don't really want to glaze very much with this brighter color, because things that are close to white, they don't glaze very well. They tend to go really chalky. So I'd rather glaze with a color that's lighter than, or darker than them. So that means we'll start with a larger section of white, of near white. This is a light neutral gray from Pro Acryl. So it's not white, it's a just a very, very light gray. I don't like the way that looks. I don't like the way of each panel having its own separate highlight. That doesn't. I don't like the way. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna treat even though each panel is separate. I'm gonna treat them all in the same plane as the same thing. We'll give them some edge highlights and things like that, but I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Come around here, and we'll have this go lower, and then we'll glaze in our mid-tone a little better. Now, because this is a slightly different geometric surface, I'm fine with these being a little different, as they could be at a different angle, but on the same, all on the same area. I didn't like that. So we can do this edge highlight, because like light's gonna catch off of that. I have a possibly silly question. Are there rules in Golden Demon for what kinds of paint you can use? No. No, there's not any rules for what types of paint you can use. You're good. Not a silly question at all. And they have the rules are posted, so you can see what rules there are. But yeah, the type of paint is not a rule. Too much water on my brush. Snooze. Alright, I'm gonna snooze the ads here, and we'll probably be done for a little bit. We'll be probably done for the night. I'm a little tuckered out. It may not look like we got a whole lot done, but we definitely punched up the highlights up in the upper areas quite a bit, made them much brighter. You can compare the old highlights to where the new highlights are. The old highlights are on the knee. That's where everything was before, and now we pushed the highlights up much brighter up top. Still need to do the back cylinders here, get those brightened up as well. The side of the standard here, that needs to be brought up as well. we've still got plenty of work to do, but I think overall this is looking a lot better. And then we got to start working on some of the other sections as well. Yeah, about 2 months, a little less than 2 months until Adepticon. So we got 2 months to work on this, and anything else we're going to be putting in. I'm not sure if I'm going to be putting anything else after all, but this is what we got. Yeah, I think we'll make it. We just got to figure out good stopping times for everything, and you know, work on it off of stream as well. But we'll make it. All right, let's go find someone to raid. I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube stream. Thank you all for being here. Dream big, build small. Thank you for being here on YouTube. And then